Patria! Patria! Luma! Luma! Hey, hey! Hey, hey! El Brasil! El Brasil! Hey, first of all, I want to acknowledge that this is indigenous land that has been stolen and desecrated, and I want to thank the people of these lands for allowing me this platform to speak today. I stand here as a child of the Pacific, humbled to be able to offer words on behalf of our communities back home who are on the front lines of climate change. Thousands of miles away from home, we carry their mana and alofa as we stand, speak, and march in solidarity with them. I'm blessed to see everyone here today. It's a blessing to see everyone here fighting for our collective future. The future of our families, the future of our people, our ways of life are all being threatened. The other day I held my newborn cousin for the first time. And as I held him, I thought of all the love he's been given. I thought of all the strength he's been given. I thought of how he is our ancestors' wildest dreams, and he's beyond anything they could have imagined. I am 22 years old and I've never been to my homeland. When he is 22 years old, he may not know anyone who's ever been to our homeland. When his children are 22 years old, we may not have a homeland. We'll just be an idea. The history of our people will have been swallowed by the ocean and will become a myth, a story, and there'll be nowhere for our roots to grow from. That is if we don't take action. We, as Pacific climate warriors, are fighting not only to protect our future, but to protect our past. Our ancestors' history, our people's mana, our families' homes are all at risk. And some have already been lost. The Carteret Islanders of Papua New Guinea have been forced to relocate due to climate change. The Terrell Islanders of the Solomon Islands have been forced to relocate due to climate change. The people of Aunu, Samoa are considering leaving the island for good for fear of losing lives to the rising sea. Children in Kiribati are building seawalls to protect their homes and schools from flooding. The Pacific is feeling the effects of climate change faster, more clearly, and more drastically. As a collection of nations that contributes to less than 1% of the global carbon emissions, we are facing the consequences of climate change in full. So we have taken the responsibility of fighting. Fighting to protect our homes, fighting for the divestment of the fossil fuel industry. Earlier this summer, Pacific leaders gathered and declared the current situation a climate crisis. Tokelau in the Pacific is the first nation to use 100% renewable energy. People in the Republic of the Marshall Islands are fighting to build new islands and elevate existing ones. Across the Pacific, people are setting the standard for climate leadership. As Pacific climate warriors, we refuse to let the world see us as victims of climate change. We are warriors. And we are fighting. We're fighting for our liberation. Climate justice is indigenous liberation. Climate justice is queer liberation. Climate justice is matriarchal liberation. Climate justice is our liberation. And we refuse to be silent as our way of life is being threatened. We carry the strength given to us by our ancestors, and we form the liberation that will be for our descendants for generations to come. So to my fellow warriors here, I say to you, you are Matangi Malohi. Strong winds villaging children, brown bodies molding brown minds, moving between healer and warrior, formulating the visions of liberation for years to come that we haven't even begun to imagine yet. And to the rest of the world, we say, we are not drowning. We are not drowning.
Hi, everyone. Our names are Kaya Yonamine. I represent the Ryukyu Islands.
My name is Akash Sharma. I represent the islands of Fiji.
My name is Nani Sancher, and I represent the islands of Truth.
We all come from different islands across the Pacific and are a part of the Roosevelt High School Pacific Islander Club and joined by Pacific Islander clubs from across the city. We are here to talk about a crisis that deeply impacts our islands and hits home to us. We can physically see and feel the effects of climate change on our islands, and as the seas rise, so do we.
This poem that we are going to read today was written by our very own PI students at Roosevelt High School. And inspired by our very own Pacific climate warrior, Kathy Jetno Kitchener. Last year, we had our very first Pacific Islander High School Focused Climate Change Summit in Oregon.
At this summit, we created a spoken word poem called 1.5 because it's about the rising global temperature. If the world temperature increases more than 1.5 degrees, then our precious islands will go underwater. Here to spread awareness about the damage of climate change and the awareness of climate change in the Pacific Islands, this is our poem, 1.5 because. 3, 2, 1.
1.5!
Because our islands are our life, our loved ones are there, our animals roam free in paradise.
1.5!
Because the coconuts my mom always talks about, the sweet pineapple, taro, and lucipi as a part of who we are, listening to our elders' ancestral stories.
1.5!
Because people's homes are being destroyed, our music is becoming extinct, our sacred choral will die.
1.5!
Because family members are dying.
My home is dying, and we don't want to be known as climate refugees. 1.5! Because our island shouldn't be history, but something to live on forever. It is where our heart is. It is what our lives and futures depend on. 1.5!
Because if our islands drown, our identity goes with it, and I don't want to lose my roots.
1.5!
Because the sinking of my friend's islands.
Protecting the treasure of our people, the warming of the globe that our islands made the smallest impact on. 1.5! Because of my history and ancestors, our cultures valuable to each of us from different islands. 1.5!
Because my roots come from there. It's where I grew up. It's where my family is. It's where my whole life is. It's a part of me.
1.5!
Because I don't want to lose the ocean that we swim in and the beach that we eat on. I don't want to see more of my family members struggle through the American lifestyle. I don't want to see my family go through the pain of leaving their home.
1.5! Because the islands is what represents me. And I want to be able to show my kids and grandkids where we come from. 1.5!
Because our feelings matter.
It's either walk now or swim later.
And we don't want to be known as climate refugees.
1.5!
Because our voices need to be heard loud and clear.
Because we are not drowning, we are fighting! 1.5!
Thank you so much for our Indigenous representatives. I have no words. Can I please hear it one more time for their vulnerability today? I want to quickly thank all the labor unions out tonight. And if you're part of a union, you should go and join them on 3rd and Salmon. Next, we have Joss and Joseph from Anak Bayan, Portland, a Filipino youth organization part of the National Democratic Movement with a socialist perspective. Joss is a Filipino youth cultural worker, and Joseph is a member of Anak Bayan, Portland. actually juice and not just. I messed that up. Thank you guys.
Yo, hey, what's up, y'all? My name is Juice, like the drink, but not spelled like the drink, but you pronounce it like it. Anyways, so I'm gonna do a rap for y'all. It's called Climate, like climbing, but it's this funny wordplay. Anyways, what it's about is how when it comes to climate justice, if we continue on the current path that we are on now, we will be digging ourselves into a hole. It'll be a hole that we won't be able to get out of at some point. And so this rap is about how we climb out of that hole of passivity and thinking that if we just leave it to government and politicians that we're going to be getting out of this hole that way. So, yeah. Can I teach y'all a chorus real quick? So this is how it's gonna go, alright? So the chorus goes like this. It goes like this. 2, 3, 4, 1. Rise above, gotta climb it. Fight for justice in the climate. Rise above, gotta climb it. Fight for justice in the climate. Yeah, rise above, gotta climb it. Fight for justice in the climate. Make sense? Dope. Hit the track, please. Yeah, rise above, gotta climb it. Fight for justice to the climate. Yeah, rise above, gotta climb it. Fight for justice to the climate. Day by day, daily grind on the way. Try to drive away this haze as the pendulum sways. Open up your mind to the problems of today. Mother Earth be calling out for the issues we gotta raise. Pray for this child on the crucible. Our current path has effects irreversible. Errors of our past, a hurdle that is cyclical. The masses acting fast, our role is pivotal. If you leave it to politicians, government, conditions of the market, find ourselves failing an environmental audit. Think you make a difference with the metal straws you sip? If you ain't rising up, then you ain't doing shit. Rise above, gotta climb it. Fight for justice of the climate. Yeah, rise above, gotta climb it. Fight for justice of the climate. Yeah, rise above, gotta climb it. Fight for justice of the climate. Yeah, rise above, gotta climb it. Fight for justice of the climate. Yeah, make some noise, Portland! Chemicals in the atmosphere, sea levels rise in every hemisphere. Self-fulfilled prophecy of the apocalypse premiere. As every year more homes sink and disappear. You hearing this? The process ain't mysterious. To be honest, it's big business being devious. Our leaders bribe, the greed makes them delirious. Democracy dies, the indulgent, the luxurious. Will you do nothing and watch as people meet demise? Realize that action can't only be done with just the eyes. Hope that you ain't missing the message that I be spitting. Future generations in our heads, so make the right decision. Fight for justice of the climate. Rise above, gotta climb it. Fight for justice of the climate. Rise above, gotta climb it. Fight for justice of the climate. Yeah, rise above, gotta climb it. Fight for justice of the climate. Yeah, rise above, gotta climb it. Fight for justice of the climate. Yeah, rise above, gotta climb it. Fight for justice of the climate. Thanks, y'all.